Welcome guys, thank you for talking to Two Finger Media today. We're in Reading, first time you guys have been here. Local for me, but crowd seemed to love you tonight.
Yeah, it was good response, yes. Thankfully all the songs went down well.
Another new area, another new place you visited, more new people that have seen you, and well, it's fantastic. I mean, you guys are obviously all based in Northern Ireland. Is it County Tyrone? Most of you all
County Tyrone, County Derry.
So what's around there for you guys? Venue-wise, is it difficult, or do you have to come over to the mainland now to get the exposure? Or
well, no, there's quite a few venues in Northern Ireland, and there's quite a good, vibrant scene in Northern Ireland. But it'll only go to a certain level, and then we got to go to England and Scotland and Wales to develop and to build. Northern Ireland's a small country.
It is, but it's produced so many great musicians.
It has, yes. Rory Gallagher, amongst them, Gary Moore.
And that trend is continuing.
Yes, absolutely.
There's a good support in Northern Ireland as well for bands. But you tend to find it's a small scene, but it's a good scene. And like you're saying, there's so many great bands over there still at the minute that are still upcoming.
A lot of US bands, even UK bands, when they come over to tour, or especially foreign bands come over to tour the UK, when they do make the effort and go to Ireland, whether it's Belfast, Dublin or wherever, they're shocked at the reception they get. They seem to, because it's so sort of...
Irish fans are real into their music in a big way. They love the music, they just love rock bands.
A lot of live DVDs and stuff are shot in Ireland. There's an intensity with the Irish crowds.
It's the same with sport over there. It's exactly the same. Croke Park or
absolutely. Croke Park, it's very good.
I think it's because they don't have the for bigger acts and stuff, it's not as accessible as maybe in England, Scotland and Wales. So whenever someone comes into town, it's a really big event.
I think
everybody goes.
Yeah, there's definitely characters. I mean, we have a mutual friend, Irish John.
Yes.
Everybody knows John.
Everybody, anywhere, any time in the world, you can bump into John. He's just one of those characters.
Yes.
But
I think we were in Amsterdam one night or something. We're playing a show and we walked down the street and John. I mean, you can spot him, as you know, you can spot him a mile away.
The thing about this, there's a street in New York City. It's the Crossroads of America in Manhattan. And they say if you stand there long enough, you'll always run into someone you know. I guarantee if you stand there for 5 minutes, John would come walking along. Oh, well, how's it going?
With his rucksack. With all
and
his pictures,
and all his photos. Absolutely.
Back to Blackwater Conspiracy. You guys have. It's a couple of years now since you had your name changed mid-gig.
2 or 3 years now,
Obviously, before that, I don't know whether the viewers know, but you guys were $1 Million, or the majority of you were $1 Million Reload, which was more of a heavy rock sound.
It was a more full-on rock band,
Now, to change halfway through a gig, $1 Million Reload gig, and
we like a challenge.
Evolve into Blackwater Conspiracy mid-gig was something that you don't see very often.
And that's the reason why we did it.
Did that take a lot of planning, or was it just an instinctive spur that we're going to do this tonight, that's it?
No, a little bit of both. It was kind of like, we said, let's save a lot of hassle of saying $1 Million is over, and we're thinking about doing a new band, and blah, 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 blah. We just thought, let's just do it in the middle of a gig, get it over and done with, move on. It was kind of like a transition, basically.
Were the crowd aware of this at the time, or did
the crowd were aware?
They knew something was going to happen.
Yeah, they knew something was going to happen because we had made it very clear that this was $1 Million last show ever. So, the room was fucking even.
Because that was.
But when we changed that, a lot of people were going, "Oh, thankfully they're not finished. They're going to keep doing stuff." And we played a bunch of new songs, and they were new back then. They're not new now, but they were new back then, and they got on board straight away. So a lot of the $1 Million fans are now Blackwater fans.
And the strange thing was too, the way the band $1 Million Reload was moving, it was organically moving towards what we're doing now. But we spoke about different things, and none of us really wanted to get into the before and after, because the problem with a lot of bands, whenever they have major changes happen, there's I like them before or I like them after, like the Deep Purples, all the different lineups, and
everybody has their favourite version of that band.
Exactly.
And we just said, you know what, it's going to be so much easier, because we didn't want to get into that. So we just says, you know what.
Plus, we felt it hadn't been done before, so it was another little thing. People come to see one band and they left with another band.
You came in with one T-shirt and went home with the
I was
different.
going to
Yeah.
say, did you have any merch already?
Oh, yeah.
So
Oh,
it was like
yeah.
don't miss a trick.
There was
Yeah.
a cloth over some boxes.
Yeah,
Nobody saw anything.
that was a neat trick. You know, the merch stall had got a cloth over and 2 T-shirts. Excuse me,
Two
and
backdrops.
CDs. Yeah,
And all
we had
that,
the old backdrop up.
I've
Dropped
seen
it.
the video where it just gets dragged
Yeah,
down
yeah,
and
yeah.
then you've got the blackboard.
So yes, it was planned, but it wasn't as difficult to plan as you would imagine. It was really easy, so it was good.
That's really cool. I mean, talk about tour. You come over to obviously mainland UK this year, touring with Kris Barras on
Kris
his UK tour.
Yes.
But Tuesday you played your first
Headline
UK
show.
mainland headline show in
Correct.
London at Boston Music Rooms.
Yes.
How was that for you guys? Because that
Great.
was a special night.
It was a special night from the point of view of because it was such a late addition to the tour schedule, and we really wanted to play London.
It was the TBA for a long time.
It was
Yeah.
TBA for a long time because we had to get the right venue, and a lot of the venues were already booked. And there was a lot of things happening in town that night. So the Boston Music Room, it's not that it was the last available venue, but it was a venue that we wanted to play because a couple of bands, friends of ours, have played that room. You know, Tyler Brandt has played it. You know, a couple of other bands have played it. Aaron has played it a few times. Aaron Keelak has played it. Broken Road Rebels have played it. So we knew the room was, you know, the facilities were there to do it. It was a little bit of a bigger room than we wanted it to be, but it was a good turnout.
I think so. Yeah.
Everything went well, so we were, at the end of the night, we were pretty happy with our first headline show.
Well, everybody I spoke to just
Yeah, it was kind of surprising the
thought
reaction.
you knocked it out the window. It was
Oh
actually
yeah,
fantastic.
it was really surprising. You know, we knew it would be a good show because you know the London audience is always pretty good, and we just had played a few months ago in Dingles with Tyler Brandt, and it was a great show too.
was there, yeah.
You were there
I
as
was
well.
there.
It was a great show, so we weren't really worried about it being, you know, a good turnout and people getting into it. It was more of the point of on short notice
Yeah.
and in the middle of the Christmas tour.
And Easter, just
Easter holidays
yeah.
and all these things, but as it turned out, the stars aligned and it worked out just fine. So now we can't wait to get back to do our own headline tour.
That's something you definitely need to.
Yeah,
to
well,
work
it
on
will
because-
happen. It will happen.
I mean, your debut album was released last year.
Yeah.
It's just a phenomenal album in my opinion, and
Thank you very much.
everybody should get this album. If they like any type of blues rock or that sort of genre,
Yeah,
I implore you, go and buy this album. We'll put a link up on this video at the end because you
Absolutely.
need this album. And I've told these guys before that that was my favourite album of 2017 bar none. And I don't say that just lightly, I'm not kissing their ass because I've known these guys for a few years, but it honestly is the best album out there that I
Thank you,
listened to
Will.
last year.
thank you.
Thank you very much, Will.
The trouble is, the new album has to match it now for 2018.
Not a problem.
Well, you've heard a few snippets.
I've
so-
heard some of the new
yeah.
songs live and they are pretty damn amazing, but apparently they're not finished. So
no, we see the thing about
They're never finished
they're
until
never
they're
finished.
committed.
They're never finished.
Committed to tape.
Brian and I have written. We have the new album written already. Now you've heard 3 songs in this run. We have 12 songs already recorded and a bunch of songs that we're never going to use.
my email address will be at the end of this video.
With the PayPal account.
Yeah, but the thing about it is, as Brian says, songs are always evolving, and, you know,
But even the songs off Shootin the Breeze, like even
Yeah.
live, we'll do little subtle
tweaks.
changes.
Yeah,
I think that's you have that ability to do that, and also something like President Joe, where it's a long song. It's a phenomenal song, but you've got that time. And if you want to throw go off on a tangent somewhere.
Well, I read there's a guy back home, a guy called Foy Vance. I don't know if you've heard of Foy.
Yeah, I've
He's
heard
a
the name.
super singer-songwriter, and I was reading an interview that he did recently, a few months ago, and his philosophy is when he writes a song and goes to play it live, every night it changes. It keeps it interesting for him and also the audience,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
I thought very, very interesting. And no, we do employ that a lot of times. You know, the song will evolve from night to night.
And I think if you're close enough and tight enough as a band, where you
Yeah.
know each other,
Yeah.
each other's. If one person does go off on a tangent, the other people know they can
But
go with
sometimes
it.
that's what makes certain nights special.
Yes.
You know, if you go to the track, like even some of the newer tracks will improvise in the middle of them and stuff like this. And you know, sometimes you'll walk off stage after doing it and be like, you know what, that's really good.
Yeah.
That works really, really well.
Let's do
And
it
then you
again.
apply that
Which
to
is
the
why it
studio.
helps sometimes when somebody does video something and you can actually watch it back just to confirm.
Yeah, well, this is the
confirm
thing.
to
You know,
that.
I know a lot of bands and a lot of artists are dead against this, you know, camera thing, video and stuff. But for us, it's kind of a good thing.
That's a big camera.
Well, you've heard recently a lot of these artists go around banning cameras from their shows, and I'm thinking, really? Well, that's okay, they're at that level and they can do that, but for bands that are at our level, it's actually a positive, because it goes on YouTube and you can watch it back yourself and see where improvements can be made.
I mean, talking to Charlie Starr from Blackwater Smoke, a guy you know very, very well, a few years ago, he was talking about the same thing about taking videos, putting them on YouTube.
Yeah.
And he's saying the only thing that he hates is when the audio is absolute shite, because it makes them look bad.
Yeah.
So if it's good audio and it's a good video, he doesn't have a problem with it. But when it's not, because you see so many videos on YouTube that are so distorted because they can't handle the bass, or it's just shit.
Well, you're always going to get that. You're always going to get someone who's maybe in the wrong place and the sound's just not quite right. But you got to weigh the options up and just hope that they get it right.
I mean, you toured with obviously Blackwater Smoke in $1 Million Relay days, but you've also done Tyler Bryant as Blackwater Conspiracy.
We've also done a few shows with Blackberry as Blackwater Conspiracy too.
Do you learn from these bands that have been about for many, many years while you're on tour?
Well, funny, I think Brian would agree that we learned more in the 3-week European tour we did with Blackberry Smoke as $1 Million. We learned more in those 3 weeks than probably we had learned than touring with Alice Cooper and The Darkness and all the other bands we toured with. We learned more in those 3 weeks with Charlie and Britt and Brandon and Paul and Richard than any other band.
Do you think that's the Southern personality that comes through? Makes them more amiable, or is it just...
No, I don't think it is.
It's simply down to the fact that they be themselves.
Yeah.
The one thing that we always found whenever, we used to play together in the other band, it was always like a little bit of a struggle. You wanted to try and write music that would fit the image of that band, or you wanted to try and create whatever you were trying to work on.
So you're almost being untrue to yourself.
No, not necessarily. At the time we were in $1 Million, we were being true to ourselves, but as we got a little bit older, but you were further on down the line, we were kind of like,
But you were more conscious of things like track listing. Like, for example, whenever the first album done really, really well, you were more conscious of trying to make it heavier for the second album. Mm-hmm. That was like the done thing. Mm. Whereas whenever the Blackwater Band whenever that started in its early stages, all those things went out the window, and that all came from the tour with Blackberry Smoke. Those guys basically just saying, you know what, it's nothing more than a great song. Yeah. If you can write a great song, if you can get 10 of them together, that makes a great album. That's what matters.
It's funny. It is funny. Like Charlie and I sat down one night where we was just shooting the breeze, as they say.
So now we know where the title came from.
But anyway, Charlie.
But an all good record.
Yeah, Charlie had been telling me a few stories from back in the day. Just telling me little stories and stuff. And an interesting thing which we incorporated into our band was he'd been out to dinner one night with Billy Gibbons from ZZ Top, and they'd been touring with ZZ Top, and Billy had said to them, people that come to see you play, they want to see all of you. So, the monitor thing you've got going on, you get rid of that. So Charlie and Blackberry, they went and invested in air system and done away with the monitors. As soon as we got off that tour, we done exactly the same thing.
Isn't that the same thing where they said to him, so make sure you don't wear shitty old sneakers, make sure you've got a decent pair of boots, because the people in the front row have paid hundreds and hundreds of dollars to see you. They don't want to see you in a crappy pair of trainers.
Exactly.
You have nothing to hide behind when the monitors go.
So that was one of the things that we took away from, one of many things we took away from that tour.
I mean, it makes perfect sense.
Of course it does. When you think about it now, it makes perfect sense.
I mean, with the writing side of it, I mean, obviously you two guys are here tonight. Is it mainly you two guys that come up with the ideas and the writing, or is it or do you get input from everybody?
Mostly it's Brian and I.
Does that stem back from the $1 Million Relay days as well, or is it just...
No, I think Brian and I are writing more together now than we did in $1 Million Reload. Right. Absolutely. Brian and I will come together. Brian will say, I've got an idea for a song, he'll come down. Or I'll say, I've got an idea for a song, he'll come down, and we'll work it out together. And when we're happy with the song, we'll bring it to the rest of the guys in the band and say, okay, this is how we think it should go, blah, 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 blah. And that's the way we work it.
Like the songs have come out of jam sessions at rehearsals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I think it's, we're lucky in the sense that whenever, no matter what happens with the origins of a song, once it comes into the room and everybody starts jamming over it, everybody finds their place. And,
Well, like you've said before at the gigs, that you have to be true to yourself. You're not going to write a song which is full of bullshit and lies.
No, well, I've never, as far as lyrics concerned, I've never done that. I've always tried to be.
But you've also got to sell it.
Yeah.
And if
I
you're
don't
selling
believe it,
bullshit,
no one else is going to believe
and
it.
people will know straight away on stage.
No,
they can tell if you're talking bullshit.
Yeah. Well, if you don't believe in what you're singing, how would you expect anyone else to believe it? And that's the way I look at it. So I got to be, when I write lyrics, it's got to be true to myself.
So, with Shootin the Breeze, how happy were you guys with that when it was released?
Well, you're never happy.
Okay.
You're never happy. You always can find improvements.
The sound that you hear on the album, because it's different than what you've sat in the room and played for so long.
Yeah.
It's just different. It's never really about not being happy. It's just so different.
Yeah.
We're over the moon with it in regards to the support and stuff we've got off the back of it. We can't, it's blown us away.
Yeah.
But it always sounds a little bit different.
Yeah.
What you have in your head, what you expect. But it's.
I'm sure every artist would say the same, that when they put a record out and they listen back to it after a few months, they'll always pick up on things that maybe would have done a little differently. But that's hindsight's 2020.
So when you're playing like the new songs now on the tour, you're evolving it as you go along.
Every night.
Shootin the Breeze, like I say, great album. You were talking earlier that it was done not on a shoestring.
Well, it really was done on a shoestring.
But that's the way the best albums seem to work.
Well,
and if it works, then why?
But that's the thing, when we told our manager how we recorded and where we recorded it and the sound that we got out of it,
so whose bathroom or basement?
He refused to believe that we did it the way we did it and how much money. He refused to believe it.
Some of the best acoustics are in the bathroom.
That's it.
That's true,
it. Listen, the first time back in the old band, when I was in the sound booth to do the vocals, I said to the producer, says, okay, I'm going to put the sound in your ears. What would you like? I go, make it sound like I'm in the bathroom. And he did.
And because the acoustics
worked.
And you're probably not the only person to do that.
No,
I imagine all the major stars in the world that's ever been have done the same thing.
So I think Led Zeppelin cut a couple of albums around houses.
Johnny Cash, Elvis Presley, all the guys.
Well, it's funny, even Rob Halford, he doesn't use what you would call a traditional vocal mic in the studio. He uses the regular SM58 that you use on stage in his kitchen, and that's where he records his vocals for Judas Priest. It's amazing, but he gets the sound he wants, and it sounds fantastic.
Back to the touring side of it.
Yes.
Obviously, you're supporting Kris Barras at the moment.
Yes.
So you're getting his audience, if you like. Although you're getting repeat people coming to see you guys.
Yeah.
After seeing you maybe with Tyler Bryant or Black Blue Smoke in the past.
Yeah.
There's a few actually tonight that were in London.
Yeah, they were in London.
That was great.
That must be a buzz for you guys.
Yeah,
as a support band.
It's validation to know that you're doing something good.
And I know for a fact you're getting a lot of support stateside. Because I know I've personally sent the album out to a few places and shared it everywhere. And I know those guys want you to get over that. So, and obviously it's a lot of money to
well,
tour.
see, this is the thing. People will send us messages through Facebook or the various social media and say, you got to come to Nashville, you got to come to New York, you got to come to wherever. And we want to do that. We really do. But, we've got to understand that there's a lot of things that need to happen before we can do that.
Well,
the show's the easy part.
Talking to Tyler Bryant, he was saying that he leaves 2 guitars at home because each guitar costs him $2,500 extra just to bring the guitar.
Exactly.
So he only brings a minimal amount.
Yeah.
It's like whenever someone comes to a club to see you play, those that show, that hour and a half or whatever, that what they see is just the music. Yeah, there's, like Phil was saying, there's so much goes into it.
Yeah.
We would happily take it if anybody wants to offer us to do something or try and work something out. No problem.
Yeah.
To play anywhere in the world, it'd be great.
I don't think you'll have any shortage of people coming to see you, that's for certain.
Oh, well, hopefully that's key.
Yeah.
So, with the touring side of it though, obviously this Kris Barras thing ends in next week, is it?
Next Sunday.
Sunday night.
Sunday night.
So are you guys doing any of the festivals? I mean, you did Download, Rambling Man last year, which is your first taste, I think, of the UK festival side.
That's Blackwater, yes.
That's Blackwater Conspiracy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have you got any more planned this year? Are you coming back?
Well, see, the immediate future for us is when we get back home off this tour is we're going to refine the new songs, and then we're going to plan to go into the studio to record that. So we're going to record the new album and get it scheduled to come out maybe in the autumn time. and then we're going to come back and do a headline run at shows around the UK.
I mean, because Planet Rock have taken you guys
Yeah,
under the
they've
wing at the
been
moment.
great,
They seem to be really pushing Blackwater.
Paul Anthony was
Paul was there, introduce you on
All those
stage.
guys have been, we can't thank them enough. They've been super supportive. It's great.
I mean, a radio station like Planet Rock, obviously over here now is huge. It's the biggest rock station, it's the biggest music, personally I would say there is.
Yeah.
And to have their support must be quite a buzz for you guys.
Well, it is, because even back in the old days, it was so hard. I don't think we ever got to play. I think maybe Joe Elliott maybe played one song. But with Blackwater, Money Club was playlisted. They wanted another song straight away. We gave them Rockstar, and Paul's been playing it on the New Rock Show, and they've been playing other things. It's just been really supportive, which is fantastic. It's fantastic.
And the good thing is you get to reach a whole new varied audience.
That's it. Well, funny.
And a very large audience.
Yeah, well, actually, at the London show, there was two guys that come up to me at the end of the show and said the only reason they'd come to the show because they heard a song and Planet Rock, we've got to go see these guys.
It's the same with Cadillac 3. People were hearing them when Planet Rock were playing them, and then going to see them.
Yeah,
but you need those outlets.
Oh,
that's one thing.
Absolutely.
The rock scene and the rock and roll blues scene, it's struggling for those kind of for people to have access to that music.
Yeah.
So Planet Rock's doing a great job, and they've been great to us so far. So
absolutely.
I think the problem is there are so many good bands out there.
There is.
There's so many you'll never hear of either.
I get to see a lot of bands that may not make it, but each time I'm discovering a new band, and each one I love, but each one is different from the last. There is no clones of each other. There doesn't seem to be.
No.
So in my opinion, the future of British rock music is safe. It's in safe hands because there are so many good bands.
It is, yes.
So talking about bands that we may not have heard of or may not know about. Who would you recommend that these guys watching this should go and check out as a band?
Well, back home, there's some Trucker Diablo, fantastic band. Screaming Eagles,
Gasoline Outlaws.
Gasoline Outlaws. There's a friend of ours actually. He's living over here now, Matty James Cassidy.
Yeah. Oh no, mate. Yeah, he's played here a few times.
Yeah. There's so many bands. Maverick, a band from back home that are doing really well.
Yeah. There's loads of bands.
Of course, the answer. I mean, people have heard
Cormac's
the answer,
doing his own thing now, so Cormac's really good. He's doing his thing and it's really good. So
see, that's the thing. People will hear your suggestions and go, and all you want them to do is go and check it out.
Baleful Creed. Baleful Creed. That's another good band.
These are all bands that I've heard of, but a lot of them I haven't seen yet. They're on my list, my to-do list, my to-see list.
Well, a lot of those bands, I think Trucker have played a few times over here.
Well, I know Matty's played here.
Yeah,
he played with Tyler's Dogs D'Amore as well. He does his.
The promoter tonight, I think he booked Gasoline Outlaws and Trucker Diablo, I think, for a couple of shows.
Yeah. The Crazy Cowboy. I think so.
He's been great tonight, though. He's really
I think he's bought half your merch table. To be fair,
he's also got a lot of Guinness too.
Made us feel right at home.
Yeah.
Alex, great. He always does that. Yeah. So I think. Yeah, maybe a good one to keep in touch with.
Oh, absolutely. Well, he's already said he wanted to do a tour with us and stuff, so we'll see what that happens with that.
So the good thing is, at least you're planning another UK tour.
Oh, yeah.
And the album is in the planning stage, in the finishing stage, it's ready to go.
It's nearly, it's nearly finished.
We could go, next week we could start recording, but we don't want to do that. We just want to fine tune
a few things.
Just make sure it's...
We're happy with it.
Yeah. Well, do you know what? From the songs I've heard and the reaction I've seen in the crowd so far, it's going to be a stonker again.
Well, there's no point doing it any other way.
No, and you must be proud because it's going to be there for all eternity. So once it's released,
we're actually really excited about the new record because we feel that the new album is far better than the first album.
Well, a lot of bands nowadays, I've noticed when they produce a new album, when they set an album up, they almost set it like a set list, like they would play it on stage. So you've got the ups and the downs, and it seems to work, and a lot of bands seem to be doing that. Is that something that you guys are conscious of when you set it up?
Well, do you know what? Sometimes even the way things have went now with vinyl, because we done our first album on vinyl, we pressed on vinyl with 4 bonus tracks. So it's been super popular. Our manager actually sorted it out with the distributor. We got it done in Germany, one of those top plants. It sounds amazing. But it's got 4 bonus tracks. But it's engineered in a way that, each side's like a mini set list, whereas a CD, you always went from start to finish. Whereas when you're conscious of vinyl, there's 2 sides. So you want to start side B with, something a bit more different.
So you kind of have got an ice cream intermission in between this.
Yeah, the thing about it is, you see, that's the thing, you know, with Blackwater, we always said from the start we were just going to write the songs that we wanted to write. We weren't going to follow a genre or anything like that, and that's kind of worked for us a little bit. You know,
I think people,
good song's a good song.
People like good music, exactly.
That's it.
And
that's it, you know. We didn't want to write 12 straight ahead rock songs.
And you're not on stage being a pretentious twat trying to sell something that you don't believe in, so which always helps.
It's as simple as this. Whenever you're out playing music, it's about nothing else other than the music. And if people relate to the music, if people can feel
find
engaged,
something, yes.
If they listen to a song and it rings a bell with them, they can, you know, if something.
It's such a cliche thing to say, but it really is true. We are rock fans. We're fans
Of course. I mean, I've been both sides of the barrier as well. I've been front and centre. I've been there 5 hours before the doors open just to be front and centre to see people.
So we still do that because that's what it's all about. We're fans of music.
And I've been the other side. I mean, I'm fortunate enough to know a lot of people now, like you guys, and I can come in and just sit and chat. And
Buddies now. You're a buddy now.
You're in the circle.
You heard that. You can see this. This is for everyone.
You're in the circle now.
But it's people don't understand a lot of what goes on behind the scenes. They see you on stage.
That's all they see.
It's all hard work. But talking of hard work, though, you guys obviously have got to get back to the merch desk, make some money, sign some items. So great show tonight, and thank you for talking to Two Finger Media.
Thank you.
And we'll catch you on the road soon. And go and buy their album.
And check Will's photographs out. They're amazing.
Yeah, and cheap. Cheers, guys.
Thanks, Will.